Hi, I'm James, and today I'm interviewing my friend Daniel, who works in the education field, and we will learn more on why he chose this career path.
My name is Daniel Assanti. I am from Westchester, New York, and I work in special education at Hawthorne Country Day School in Hawthorne, New York.
What made you decide to go into the education field?
Well, originally it was I had worked at a day camp with 10-year-olds, and I fell in love with the elementary education. So I went to work at an elementary school, or at a college, and after working there, I decided to switch to high school, where I now teach special education, 14 to 16-year-olds with autism. And the reason I went into it is because because special education is very individualized. When you teach gen ed, when you teach big classes, it's very hard to work one-on-one with a student. I mean, sure, you do one-on-one work every so often, but not for the entire day. So I have 8 kids in my class, and I'm able to work with each one of them individually for long periods of time throughout the entire day. That mixed with these kids are preparing to enter the real world in whatever form they can. Obviously, they're not going to be able to live as easy as we will when we grow up, when we're adults. And preparing them to enter the world in any way they can, whether it be with a job. Some of them might go on to a community college, but that's a very rewarding thing, preparing these kids to be able to enter the workforce in any capacity and have structure and meaning to their lives.
Was there a specific teacher, moment, or experience that influenced your decision?
Yes, two that come to mind. The first is my mother. She was a first grade and kindergarten teacher for a little over a decade. She has a dual master's in special ed and regular ed. And she helped me out a lot in school. She taught me CCD, and seeing the way she taught and the way the kids loved her, because she's a wonderful teacher. Seeing the way the kids loved her and the way she was able to reach her students made me really want to enter this field. My current role is a special education teacher. My day, get to work at 7:30. Students arrive by 8:30, sometimes 9. We let them settle in for about a half an hour before we begin work. And then it's individualized math, social studies. Right now I'm preparing 2 students to take the Regents exams. The math is very individualized to where the kids are at. You know, these are 14, 15, 16-year-olds. Some of them are at a 5th grade math level. Some of them are at a kindergarten math level. So it's very individualized. And then lunchtime, I take a few of the kids to another area in the school because we don't have a cafeteria. But I bring them there, and we eat lunch there without any phones, without any electronics, and it's a good time for them to socialize throughout the day, which is something that's on a lot of their goals. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is gym, 1:30 to 2, and then students are out by 2:20, and then I'm there till 3:30, and then I am home.
What's something people don't realize about working in education?
Well, I can speak on all kinds of education. Elementary school, people don't realize how much kids change throughout the year. The second grader you get in September is not the second grader you're going to get come the end of the year in June. They're completely different people. They change so much and so fast, and not just physically, but the way they interact with you, their maturity. So you can never really get used to them, which can be quite difficult. For middle school, some folks tend to forget, and it's important to remember that while they are quite rambunctious, they also have no idea what's going on. They're 10 to 13, that's, puberty starts and their minds go nuts. So you got to have empathy with that, and that's what most folks don't realize about middle school. High school, again, it's the same thing as elementary school. They grow so fast. The person you get in the beginning of the year is not the same person you're going to get at the end of the year. And keeping up with that is very, very important. In special education, the big thing people don't realize, you get a bunch of praise for it, like, oh, great job, this is an important job. People don't realize how tough it actually is. Last year I worked low functioning autism, and there was very little teaching, and I was a teacher. In special education, you have to prepare yourself for certain levels of special education. You have to prepare yourself mentally because it's very, very draining. I spent about 3 hours each morning holding kids in restraints that were trying to attack me or my colleagues. So what folks don't realize about special education is how difficult it really is.
What are the biggest challenges you face in this field?
The most difficult part about my field and the class I'm in now, what I teach now, is achieving their goals of socializing. Each kid has their own goals and their own IEPs, which stands for Individualized Education Plan. But a lot of them, a very common theme in their goals is social skills. As I mentioned, I bring the kids to the cafeteria to socialize, though throughout the day, with the amount of work that they're required to do, which isn't too much, but for them it's a full day's work. You can't teach group lessons because they're all at their own level. So working with them to achieve their social goals is very hard because in Gen Ed, the kids are all on the carpet or they do group work. We don't have that. It's very individualized, and with that, it veers off the usual social skill building that you see in general education, because working together is a very large part of socializing in elementary, middle, and high school. So I would say helping these kids achieve that specific goal is one of the hardest things that I face right now in the class I work.
What skills do you think are most important to be successful in education?
Patience, big time. I have understanding and empathy for these kids. Just a quick example. I have one kid that is 14 years old. He has the maturity of an 8-year-old. It is one of the most frustrating things. The rest of the kids want to watch Spider-Man. He wants to watch Peppa Pig, which is okay. However, when I have to deal with a tantrum, because, however, when he ends up having when he has a tantrum, because the rest of the kids want to watch Spider-Man, it becomes quite a test of my tongue biting skills. Another aspect of patience is these students, they don't learn the same way that gen ed kids do. So you could explain something to a gen ed kid and they'll understand it in one or two explanations. These kids, things need to be repeated quite a bit, to the point where I remember last year with my lower functioning students, I was doing math with one of the kids, and the problem was 2 plus 4. So we counted, and we got 8. Wonderful. The next problem was something else. The problem after that was 2 plus 4. He had no idea what he was doing. And that repeated itself with various equations for about 20 minutes. And I ended up explaining it to him more times than I care to remember. Now, it's where these students are at, so it's important to have empathy and understanding and patience. And at the same time, we're human beings too. Things get a little frustrating. Do I bite my tongue? Always. Do I wish I could say, how do you not understand it? Every so often. So patience is definitely the answer to that question.
What has been the most rewarding moment so far in this career?
Oh gosh, definitely the kids I have this year. Seeing the way they have grown socially and academically since the beginning of the year. A large part of my class now is preparing them to have jobs one day. Seeing the way they're able to interact with folks when we do our little makeshift store. Seeing the students retain the information is the most rewarding thing, because, like I said, sometimes it takes a very long time. And when it finally clicks and they retain it, it's the best feeling in the world. It's absolutely incredible. So I would say the answer to that is watching them grow would be the answer to that question.
And if you could give one piece of advice to a college student considering education, what would it be?
Education in general? Well, I could give a piece of advice. Here, I'll give a couple of pieces of advice, because that question requires a couple of answers. It's not day camp. That was the piece of advice that I got. It's not fun with the kids all day. If you do not have patience, this is not the field for you. And that goes for all ages. Middle school is very behavioral, because 11 to 13, they don't really know what's going on, and they tend to act out. Elementary school, generally speaking, you go from age 5 to 12, so there's a big range there. But generally speaking, having understanding and empathy for them, and a willingness to teach very simple stuff and not be able to have super intelligent conversations with them. is an important thing to keep in mind if you want to go into education. If you want to be able to have intelligent conversations with them, high school's the place to be. If you want to help catapult students up into adulthood, get that last piece of influence in, high school's for you. Special education, it's a whole other ball game, man. It's piece of advice. Make sure you want to do it for 30 years. Make sure you want it to be your career, because not everyone's able to, and it's tough. It's really, really tough.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. Looking back, would you choose this career path again? Why not?
Yes. I have taught many grade levels, many genres of education, if you will. I would not choose this one to start off in, but I would choose every one that I've had when I've had it a million times over. My first job taught me how to work with kids in a school setting. My second job threw me into a very difficult, probably the most difficult version of special education. So it really prepared me. And my job now is exactly what I want to do. Until I move on to high school in a couple of years.
Thank you, Daniel. Talking with Daniel really showed me that education is more than just a job. It's a commitment to shaping people's futures. It made me realize how much passion and patience it takes to do well. Conversations like this definitely make me think more about choosing a career path with purpose.